relationships between councillor and community. Now, I'm pretty sure Ward 1 is not alone, and our concerns are shared with most other wards in the county. Speeding through school zones, poor quality workmanship with new roads, and unsatisfactory communication between councillors and the constituents they represent. I will work together with my fellow council members to ensure your concerns are properly addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Parks, please answer the question from your seat.
Thank you. Over the last few months at the doors, I've heard from a lot of happy residents. People are proud to live in Sherwood Park and proud to what we have built here in Strathcona County. But I've also heard some concerns from residents in Ward 1. Affordability, safe and thriving neighborhoods, and making sure our county plans for the future responsibly. Affordability is front and center. People want to know that their municipal taxes are being kept under control, that council is focusing on needs before wants, and that we're not adding to the financial pressures families and businesses are already facing. That means at the very least, aligning taxes with inflation, holding the line on nice-to-have spending, and ensuring that every dollar we spend delivers real value back to residents. Over the past 8 years, I've worked to do exactly that. Keep our municipal finances the best in Alberta, support infrastructure that people actually use, and making sure we build for tomorrow without losing sight of today. What people tell me at the door is that they are happy that I'm a councillor who is accessible and is accountable, someone who will listen, ask the tough questions, and bring common sense to every decision. They don't want rubber stamps or politics for the sake of politics. They want leadership that is steady, thoughtful, and grounded in reality. Now to the second question. While I represent Ward 1, being a councillor also means balancing the local priorities with the needs of the entire county. When we invest in infrastructure, community safety, and services, whether in our Drawson, rural Strathcona, or Sherwood Park, those benefits ripple across the whole region. Strong fiscal discipline and smart investments protect affordability and quality of life, and for all residents, not just one ward. At the end of the day, leadership is about balance, standing up for the people who elected you while keeping a sight on the bigger picture. My record shows that I've done just that, supporting projects that make sense, like the senior center, but pushing back on those that don't, and always putting affordability and accountability first. This election is about trust. I've listened, I've learned, and I've led with common sense, and I'm asking for the opportunity to continue doing that as your Ward 1 councillor for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Each candidate now has 1.5 minutes for closing remarks. Robert Parks, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
Thanks, Todd. Over the last 8 years, I've had the privilege of serving as your councillor for Ward 1. Together, we've built a strong foundation. Strathcona County is known across Alberta as an example of good local government, with sound financial management, safe communities, and services that reflect our residents' priorities. But there's more work to do. Affordability, accountability, and common sense leadership must remain our focus. I will continue to push for budgets that keep taxes reasonable and grounded in reality, for investments in infrastructure and emergency services that protect our quality of life, and for decisions that put needs ahead of wants. I'm also committed to seeing long-standing community priorities come to life, including the dedicated senior center that honors those who helped build this county. I want to thank my amazing wife, Leslie, my parents, my family, and the many residents and volunteers who've supported me and shaped the leader I am today. As always, this election is about trust, about choosing who will continue to make the tough but fair decisions that keep Strathcona County strong. I've proven I will listen, I will learn, and I will lead with balance and accountability. On October 20th, or advance polls before then, I ask for your support to continue serving as your Ward 1 councillor, so that we can keep Strathcona County strong, affordable, and a place that we can all be proud to call home. Thank you.
Dean Kokoschky, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
The
Fraser Institute looked at statistics. The Fraser Institute looked at statistics from approximately the last 15 years to identify the largest spending counties in the province. We were in the top 3. I'm not sure that's something to be proud of. Strathcona County increased their per-person spending by 20% in that time frame. I don't believe Strathcona County has an income problem. I believe we have a spending problem. If you combine property tax rate increases from last year, this year, and what is proposed for next year, it's over 16% in 3 years. We are one of the wealthiest counties in the province. Just because we have more, does that mean we need to spend more? I don't think so. The county is currently planning on borrowing $35 million to build a new indoor sporting field house. We are blessed with an incredible industrial tax base. I don't think we should have to borrow money for anything. Financial experts will tell me, Dean, don't worry about it. It's good debt. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? In my books, the only good debt is no debt. I believe we have the ability to pay cash for these in-demand facilities with a council who desires prudent financial management. What do I bring to the table? I bring an unwavering commitment to serving my fellow citizens. With my career as a firefighter, I understand the dedication and resolve that is required to truly care about my community. In conclusion, I've heard it said, at least we're not Edmonton. That's our new standard. Edmonton, that's setting the bar pretty low, isn't it? Strathcona County has the ability to be so much better than the true fiscal responsibility.
Thank you, Ward 1 candidates, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidates of Ward 1. We'll now take a 2-minute break to organize the next ward. Ward 2 candidates, please make your way backstage behind. Mike Derbyshire. Kathy Flett. And Tracy Drew. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet and Pam. They are your timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card to signal 20 seconds remaining in your speaking time, then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at that time. There is also a digital countdown timer for your reference. Candidates have drawn for speaking order, and please welcome Mike Derbyshire for his opening remarks at the podium.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Derbyshire, and I'm honored to put my name forward to serve as your councillor for Ward 2 in Strathcona County. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting this forum, to all of you for being here tonight, and to all the candidates who have stepped forward in this election. Over the course of this campaign, my team and I have knocked on more than 12,000 doors. We deliberately held off on building my platform until we had spoken with over 2,000 residents, because I believe the job of a councillor is to listen first. And residents were clear about their priorities: affordability, traffic and public safety, senior supports and recreation, and a long-term plan for the county as we prepare to nearly double our urban population in the coming decades. My campaign is built on the idea that experience matters, that if you want to serve as an elected official, you need the skills and expertise to be effective from day one. And I look forward to sharing how my lifetime of leadership and service has prepared me to deliver for Ward 2 and all of Strathcona County.
I would now like to call Kathy Fleck to the podium for her opening remarks.
Affordability, traffic calming, and emergency services. Affordability hasn't come up once at the door. However, I do volunteer at the food bank and know that there are some that are struggling. Do the programs provided by the county offer a hand up or a hand out? It's worth knowing because only one empowers the receiver while the other doesn't. Traffic calming measures. Get rid of those speed bumps. And why is there a meridian in the middle of the road now? I can't tell you how often I've heard this. And what challenges do our first responders now face trying to navigate these new additions to our neighborhoods? Speaking of first responders, did you know the province is modifying funding while the feds are cutting it for ambulance and police respectively? Is there a plan? I don't know, but there are options that we can explore for both. Governments of all levels tend to be reactive. This next municipal council needs to be proactive by focusing on the problems, being firm about the solutions, and ensuring fair outcomes for all. Thank you.
I would now like to call Tracy Drew to the podium for her opening remarks.
Thank you for being here and caring about the future of our county. I'm Tracy Giroux, and I'm honored to run for Ward 2. I am a longtime resident, community peace officer, mother, grandmother, and a lifelong volunteer. I know what matters to the families and businesses who call this place home. I've strengthened our community through local boards and volunteering because strong communities are built when we come together. My campaign is focused on what matters most, making life more affordable, keeping our community safe, and bringing people together. I will listen, act on factual information, and work with fiscal responsibility. This election is about trust and leadership. I'm ready to show up, speak up, and put Ward 2 first. I've done this for the majority of my life. I love this community, and I'm asking tonight for your vote, and I will work so hard to demonstrate to you that you can trust me, and I will lead this community towards a bright future.
Candidates will now have 2.5 minutes to answer the following prepared question. What do the residents in your ward feel are the prominent issues in this election? And what do you want from, or what do they want from their councillor for the next 4 years? How will you balance your ward residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in your decision making? Mike Derbyshire, please answer the question from your seat.
Thank you. Meeting residents at the doors and in the community, I've heard loud and clear that the issues shaping this election are affordability, traffic and public safety, seniors, supports and recreation, and the need for a long-term vision as our county continues to grow. On affordability, people are feeling the squeeze. While council can't lower the price of groceries or gas, it can make sure property taxes are kept as low as possible while protecting the services that residents rely on. On traffic and public safety, the concerns vary by neighborhood. In newer areas with narrow streets and high density, speeding can be especially dangerous for kids and pedestrians. I've also heard from residents who feel less safe as some of the social disorder from Edmonton seems to creep into Sherwood Park. I'll work with the county and local law enforcement, building on my experience developing community safety programs like Vision Zero in Edmonton to ensure we understand what the data says and that people feel safe in their communities. On seniors issues and recreation, I've heard from families who struggle to get kids into swimming lessons or onto the ice, and from groups like the Boys and Girls Club, Men's Shed, and the seniors organizations that lack the space they need to thrive. As our population grows, infrastructure has to grow with it. And finally, residents want real long-term planning. Too often, politics is about the next election. I want us to think about what Strathcona County will look like in the next 25 years when our urban population has doubled. Have we zoned enough for schools, recreation, fire halls, community hubs. Have we planned for a hospital? For parking? For the full picture of growth? That's the kind of vision people are asking for. Now, the second part of the question, balancing Ward 2 with the needs of the whole county. I don't pretend to know the lived experience of rural residents. And that's why I'm going to have to lean on my fellow councillors to share their perspectives, and so we can build consensus on the best way forward. At the same time, I'll be a strong advocate for what Ward 2 residents have told me, while working with the next mayor and council to make sure every decision reflects the needs of the whole community. Thank you.
Tracy Giroux, please answer the question from your seat.
Number one consistent theme I hear at the doors is that people are proud to call Strathcona County home. Families choose this community to raise their children, build their lives, and enjoy the high quality of life that we are known for. Like any community, there are challenges. The three biggest concerns I hear from thousands of doors I've knocked on are affordability, safety, and access to the local hospital services. On affordability, families are being squeezed. Housing, groceries, utilities, and now a potential significant tax increase are making it harder for people to enjoy the quality of life that brought them here. Residents are asking for greater fiscal responsibility at the council table, making sure every dollar is spent wisely, that needs come before wants. Safety is another top concern. As a community peace officer, I hear firsthand about worries with crime, traffic, and neighborhood well-being. People want to know that their community is safe, that services are responsive, and that support is there when needed. I heard serious frustration with the underutilized hospital. While healthcare is managed provincially, it's our obligation as your council to encourage our MLAs to expand services, whether it's maternity, day surgery, or seniors care. People want access close to home, and I will keep that a priority in the coming term. Residents tell me they want someone who listens, communicates frequently, and makes responsible decisions with transparency and integrity. They want approachable leadership that puts families and community first. I will always bring Ward 2's voice to the table. I also know that once elected, I represent all of Strathcona County. Every ward has its unique priorities, but we all share the same foundation: safe neighborhoods, affordability, quality services, and a desire to make this entire county safe, affordable, and connected into the future for our children. My commitment to represent Ward 2 with strength and integrity, while also working with my colleagues to build solutions that benefit the entire county. Ward 2 deserves a strong advocate, and Strathcona County deserves leadership that puts people first. That is the leadership I will bring.
Thank you. Kathy Flett, please answer the question from your seat.
What do the residents of Ward 2 think are the prominent issues in this election? Without any prompting from me, here's what I've heard. Speed bumps, most hate them. Extended curbs are also a sore spot. Massive meridians being installed on residential roads. Islands and cul-de-sacs where there really isn't room for one. And no parking signs where there used to be no signs at all. Resurfacing again? Why? Over-engineered intersection. High-density housing being built either without neighboring residents being informed, or those who were informed and attended engagement sessions felt their input was completely ignored. Many are not happy about a cell tower that's scheduled to be installed. Growth isn't being managed properly. Folks are also wondering why our property taxes keep rising when there are surpluses. Fair question. So what do they want from their councillor? Many people I spoke with in Ward 2, they're feeling ignored. It's communication between county and residents that needs mending, not roads. It's a theme we're hearing tonight. They want to be heard. Someone who will listen to them. And I really believe having the right members on all of council is the way to build that bridge, particularly when it comes to balancing both the needs of rural and urban. And I've lived in rural and I've lived in urban. I understand both. There's a lot of frustration and aggravation that some projects are taking precedent over the needs of the community as a whole. So let's sit down, let's reason together, identify the needs and wants, and come up with creative ways to get things done. I'll bet we find ways to fund services while implementing a managed approach to growth in a way that benefits everyone. And as long as our taxes are being spent wisely on things that will help the county as a whole, very few are going to be against that, regardless which ward they live in. So to summarize, communication, lack thereof, was a constant theme. My constituents want to be heard by the whole county. They want to have a say in the planning and projects that happen around their home. And of course, they want to know that their elected officials are taking their fiduciary duty seriously, ensuring tax dollars are being spent prudently. And frankly, as a fellow resident of Ward 2, I don't disagree.
Each candidate will now have 1.5 minutes for closing remarks. Kathy Flett, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
For those who don't know what the chuckling is about, Tracy has a stool back here. Go ahead.
Yep, please.
Municipalities are corporations, corporations whose responsibility it is to provide core services with excellence. We need business acumen at the table, men and women with the ability to see budgets and money not as a resource, but a tool. In other words, someone who has or has had a business would be a real asset on council. That's me. If we're going to talk seriously about lowering property taxes and actually do it, we need to have candid conversations. As a good communicator who doesn't talk to be heard but listens to understand, I don't shy away from those tough discussions. Keeping an eye on being ready to respond to changes within the provincial and even federal governments is crucial to any municipal plan. I actually enjoy politics, so this is also me. A business mind, good communicator, and appreciation of the political landscape as a whole to navigate the road ahead, that's just some of what I bring to the table. To my constituents, I will stand up for you. To those who live in other wards, I will stand up for you too. In fact, I already have as a citizen, both with letters to various levels of governments and in council chambers. To do so in formal capacity as a councillor would be an honor. Focused, firm, and fair, I'm your only choice for a conservative voice. And to find out more about who I am and what I'm all about, please visit my website at www.kathyflett.ca.
Thank you. Tracy Giroux, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
Thank you all for coming out tonight to listen to us share our visions for the community. I'm committed to putting people first as your Ward 2 councillor. I have worked hard my whole life and I know what it's like to struggle, a challenge I know many in your room have faced. And like many here, I've never expected others to solve my problems, but I've said, just can it be a little bit easier? I put forward a vision with the goal of making lives a little bit easier for everyday families. A vision that makes life more affordable, makes your neighborhood safer, and brings us together as a community. A vision where your council members exercise greater responsibility to all of our residents by looking at how we deliver services and maintain infrastructure in a more cost-effective way. I will work tirelessly to implement target property tax rebates, push for tax breaks for affordable housing, and advocate for reducing utility costs to ease the financial burdens on families. Safety is essential. I will fight for more frontline officers, stronger neighborhood watch programs, and practical traffic safety measures so everyone feels secure in their homes and on our roads. Finally, I believe in building a stronger community by supporting local job creation, growing our industrial base, enhancing mental health programs, and fostering recreation opportunities for all ages. If you put your trust in me with your vote, I will honor my commitment to be transparent and approachable councillor who listens actively and acts fiscally responsible.
Mike Derbyshire, please make your way to the podium for your remarks.
There is so much to say in only a few minutes of time tonight to talk about it all. So for those of you who don't know me, I'd like to leave you with a little of my story. When I was 9, my dad walked out and my mom was left to raise 3 kids on her own. We grew up in social housing, and when my mom couldn't afford Christmas presents, it was Santa's Anonymous that gave us a little joy. Those experiences taught me the power of community, and they inspired me to dedicate my life to service. It's why I spent 26 years as a police officer, retiring as an inspector leading a division. I've led teams ranging from 5 to 500 and managed budgets from hundreds of thousands to hundreds of millions of dollars. It's why I've served on and chaired boards ranging from small not-for-profits to crown corporations and TSX-traded companies. And it's why to this day, I volunteer with Santa's Anonymous to give back some of what I was given. When I try to imagine what 19-year-old me would say tonight, looking at what I've become, a kid who once just hoped to make it into the police service, I feel a deep gratitude for the many mentors who pushed and supported me. I'm running because I believe experience matters. I've spent my life in leadership and service, and now I want to bring that experience to council. I hope to earn your trust and your vote to serve as your councillor for Ward 2 in Strathcona County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ward 2 candidates, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidates of Ward 2. Ward 3 candidate, please make your way to the back. Please welcome candidate Lauren Harvey for Ward 3. Candidate Alan Dunn sends his regrets as he is unable to attend tonight. Candidate Harvey is the only candidate here tonight from Ward 3, so we have made the decision that he will incorporate his total time in one address to you, the residents, which will include the answering the following question: what do residents in your ward feel are the important issues in the election, and what do you want from their councillors in the next 4 years? Also, how will you balance your ward residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in your decision making? Mr. Harvey, please proceed to the podium to deliver your remarks. You have 6 minutes.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the Chamber for hosting this event and all the people that were involved in organizing it, and thanks for everybody for coming out. My name is Lauren Harvey. I'm running for re-election to be your councillor in Ward 3 for another 4 years. My background is I worked in the provincial government for 30 years, 10 of those years as Assistant Deputy Minister of Corporate Services, and that's looking after finance, HR, IT, strategic planning. I'm also a CPA and received my accounting designation in 1995. My wife and I have lived in Sherwood Park in Ward 3 for almost 30 years. One of the things I always mention to people is that even though I've lived here almost 30 years, I've learned more about Strathcona County in my first year as councillor than all the years I've lived here before. The best thing about being on council is that it gets you out of your comfort zone. You have your group of friends and you always go to the same places. But being on council, I've met so many people and traveled throughout the county attending business visitations, events, and being invited out to specific places. We have a great community that wants council to understand their business and share their stories. I feel I have a good understanding of my ward issues. Not only have I been out door knocking since August, with a wonky knee, by the way, but as an incumbent of 4 years of communication with my residents through various phone calls, emails, coffee meetings, open houses, and just by attending
neighborhood events. Actually, that's one of the things I've heard when I've been outdoor knocking. People are glad to see me again, and they've talked to me in the past. Across my ward, the issue that keeps coming up is speed and vehicle noise, especially in the areas where people are outside and children are playing. More residents are actually asking for traffic calming measures on the main connector roads that go through their communities. However, don't get this confused with adding multiple concrete islands or curb extensions. Residents still want to be able to tow their trailers back and forth and drive their trucks. They're asking about proper enforcement and the possibility of bringing back photo radar for the playground and school zones. I want to have our administration, in collaboration with our enforcement services, come up with a plan of action to deal with this growing issue. Residents are also concerned throughout the county with the cost of living. Inflation, tariffs, uncertainty, the county are causing instability in our daily lives. Whether it be increased costs for groceries, gas, utilities, or taxes, residents are finding it tough out there. As a councillor, it's my job that we keep our taxes and fees fair and reasonable. The difficulty with this is that the same issues that are causing the increasing cost of living for residents are the same issues that's causing the county's cost to increase as well. I will continue to do my best to keep taxes down. However, I do not want to keep them artificially low, as this would only cause them to be much higher in future years. At times, it is difficult balancing ward needs with the needs of the county. What I always do is try and put myself in the position of the residents and how I would feel if certain things were happening in my neighborhood. Then I think about the other residents, understand the need for the county for any specific project. It would be better to be located in a different location. This doesn't mean outside the ward, but just maybe there's a better location in general. An example of this is the future seniors center. We looked at multiple locations and determined it was best to just do a major renovation and addition to the current 55 plus club. Although this is great news for seniors that live in Ward 3, it is also great news for all seniors in Strathcona County. It'll be a nice place for them to meet other seniors, enjoy the benefits of exercise, learning, socializing. Another example is the ag facility, The Point. Although this may not benefit a lot of residents in Ward 3, it will have a positive impact on our rural residents and our agricultural economy in the county. When making decisions, the most important thing for me is having an open mind and listening to what is being brought forward. I want as much information as possible before I make that decision. In closing, I would like to let my residents know that if they re-elect me, I will continue to represent them and the county in the best way possible. I believe I have demonstrated my commitment to them through engagement, and that's returning phone calls, emails, coffee meetings, open houses, attending events. Fiscal sustainability, understand the importance of fiscal planning and reserve management. Growth management, ensuring we have a variety of a mix of housing options out there for all residents that either live or want to live in Strathcona County. And for seniors, my support for a senior center has always been unwavering, and I have also supported low-income seniors tax rebates. And lastly, community supports. This is our enforcement services, fire, family and community services, and helping our nonprofit organizations. I bring a wealth of knowledge and experience from my time in the provincial government and being a CPA for 30 years. Adding to that, I now have 4 years experience as a councillor and have a better understanding of our county. Come October 20th, or of course before, I ask residents to make the choice to re-elect me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ward Candidate Lauren Harvey, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidate, Lauren Harvey. We'll now take a 2-minute break and organize for the next Ward 4 candidates. Please make your way backstage now. Please welcome in alphabetical order the following candidates for Ward 4. Crystal Hampel. And Bill Tanita. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet and Pam. They are our timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card to signal 20 seconds remains in their speaking time. Then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at this time. There is also a digital countdown timer for your reference. Candidates have drawn for speaking order, and please welcome Bill Tanita for his opening remarks.
Well, good evening. Thank you to the Chamber for the opportunity to speak directly to our residents about issues that matter in this election. For those of you that don't know me, I am a husband and father and a grandfather whose family is the anchor that guides me through my life. My leadership experience in education has shaped my vision as someone who puts community first, whether it was as a school leader or in my current role as an elected official. People come to Strathcona County because they feel safe here. They appreciate that we have the lowest taxes in the region with the highest value of services of any municipality around us. They value the fact that we maintain our infrastructure, and they look forward to the benefits the new facilities will bring as we continue to grow our community. They want to ensure that as we maintain the character of our community they've come to love. Should I be re-elected on October 20th, my vision is to keep that spirit alive, a safe and caring community focused on maintaining our infrastructure as we build for the future. Thank you.
I would now like to call Crystal Hampel for opening remarks.
Hello, everyone. My platform is pretty simple. First and most importantly, it's county first. I believe that it is imperative that residents are more informed and continue to understand the decisions being made. I plan to regularly engage with the community through town halls, newsletters, and conversation. Community engagement. I want to support Volunteer Strathcona to boost volunteerism, fostering a more connected and active community. Fiscal responsibility. The economy is tough, so I want to ensure that our core infrastructure requirements are the priority for the time being and only support new projects that show a high need, keeping our taxes below the regional average. And finally, we must protect farmers and acreages from displacement and mitigate developmental impacts. This is vital to preserving our county's heritage. Let's build a transparent, responsible, and thriving Strathcona County together.
Candidates will now have 2.5 minutes to answer the following prepared question. What do the residents in your ward feel are the important issues in this election? What do they want from their councillor in the next 4 years? Also, how will you balance your ward residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in your decision making? Bill Tanita, please answer the question from your seat.
Over the past few months, I've knocked on thousands of doors and have engaged with many residents at community events, on the streets, and through personal contacts. Ward 4 has been the center of growth in Sherwood Park since I was first elected in 2017. In the past 4 years, we've watched as the population exploded in Summerwood and from new communities in Cambria and Hearthstone. From empty fields 4 years ago, over 500 homes now exist north of the Yellowhead, and a similar number of homes are currently under construction. Meanwhile, the final stages of growth in Summerwood is nearing completion. When asked why they moved to Sherwood Park, some common themes emerge. First, residents love our community. They feel safe here. They're impressed with the county's development plan where parks and trails and amenities are constructed before houses are ever built. They talk about playgrounds and basketball courts ice surfaces, and the trail network that creates connected communities. Many have come from the city of Edmonton, as well as communities from across Canada, and they appreciate the lifestyle that this community has to offer. They speak of how the county maintains its infrastructure, and they're amazed by the incredible facilities that we've built here. Many are excited by the county's future capital plan that includes an indoor field house, an ice complex in Cambrian, and the construction of Fire Station 7. Many folks talk about issues beyond the control of council that fall with other orders of government, but which directly affect life in Strathcona County. They identify the hospital as a priority for this community. With rapid growth of communities north of the Yellowhead, parents are also asking about schools in this area. And folks recognize that these are not municipal issues, but they affect the quality of life in our community, and they want council to use its influence with government to address these issues. They appreciate that plans are already underway to bring transit in Cambrian and Hearthstone by 2026. Traffic issues come up in discussions, and while there's little consensus on how these issues might be resolved, residents want to see more community engagement as we look for solutions to manage increased traffic volumes and speed in our roadways. And as the county population ages, the demand for programs and services for seniors also grows. From a seniors facility to pickleball, our seniors want more services that meet their needs. Our community is changing, and the next council will need to be ever mindful of the complexities that come with growth and changing demographics. Thank you.
Crystal Hempel, please answer the question from your seat.
This county is my home. It's where I was married, where I raised my family, where I built a business. It's a beautiful place to live, and I'm committed to keeping it that way by listening to you and serving with transparency. In conversations across our ward and the county as a whole, I've heard what matters most. People are generally happy here, but they want transparency in how decisions are being made. They're frustrated seeing millions being spent on facilities while other needs are overlooked. Urban roads getting repaved time and time again, while rural residents are struggling with crumbling infrastructure. Farmers whose families who've worked this land for generations, worried about being pushed out for development. And rising cost of living is a concern for everyone. You want a councillor who listens and explains decisions clearly. Sometimes that means educating residents on projects that don't directly affect them, but benefit the broader county. Other times it's about stepping back and prioritizing core needs before moving forward with big projects. And when issues fall outside of municipal control, you want a councillor who will advocate for you at higher levels of government. That's why I'm committed to regular community engagement. I'll explore town halls, online platforms, and other ways to connect with as many of you as possible. Transparency starts with open, honest conversations, and I'll ensure your voices shape our priorities. Balancing our ward's needs with the county's is critical. Our ward deserves attention to its unique challenges like core infrastructure, development, and protecting farmland. And I will advocate for our ward while ensuring decisions consider the county's long-term good, using data and your input to guide informed choices. As a lifelong volunteer, I've built relationships through service on the boards of the Chamber of Commerce and Women in Business, cooking for volunteers at the Ravenwood Music Festival, and serving in my church. Residents want Volunteer Strathcona supported, and I agree. By securing steady funding for this organization, we can strengthen our community connections through events like Canada Day, Snow and Lawn Busters, and neighborhood block parties. I believe in a strong, connected Strathcona County, and as your councillor, I will amplify your voice, prioritize transparency, and balance our ward's needs with that of the county's.
Thank you. Candidates will now have 1.5 minutes for closing remarks. Crystal Hempel, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Balancing our county needs requires listening, prioritizing wisely, and advocating fiercely. My goal is simple. It's putting our county first. You've told me you want transparency. You're frustrated when millions are spent on facilities while other core infrastructure is crumbling. I hear you, and I'm committed to open, honest conversations and direct engagement to ensure you understand and shape decisions that we make. I will champion community engagement by supporting Volunteer Strathcona, boosting volunteerism to foster a more connected community. You worry about rising costs, while I will prioritize fiscal responsibility, focusing on core infrastructure and only supporting new projects with a clear high need, keeping our taxes well below the regional average. I will fight to protect farmers, preserve our county's heritage against unchecked development. As your councillor, I will amplify your voice, ensure transparency, and make decisions that strengthen all of Strathcona County. Vote for me, Crystal Hampel, and let's build a responsible, connected, and thriving future together.
Bill Tanita, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
Leadership is about vision. Effective leaders have a strong sense of where they're going, and they're governed by a sense of purpose driven by the needs of our organization. Great leaders are also governed by a strong sense of values. With over 40 years of leadership experience in education and at the county level, I'm seeking your support as someone who has the vision to make effective decisions on behalf of our community. As a leader, I'm driven by values shaped by my family and by the community that I serve. Over the past few months, I've had the chance to test the vision of our community with residents through thousands of conversations. And what emerges is a high level of satisfaction with the direction of our community. Over 91% of our residents say the county is a great place to live. Over 88% say that it is a safe community. These are incredible numbers by any measure, and they suggest that the county is making great progress. Should I be re-elected on October 20th, my vision is to continue building this community as a safe and caring place where all are welcome. My vision includes continuing to maintain our infrastructure and services to the high standard that we've come to enjoy, while also working with our community to meet future needs. Finally, I want to ensure that as we grow, our community continues to support our most vulnerable residents as we strive to make this Canada's most livable community. On October 20th, I would be honored to continue to serve as your councillor in Ward 4. I ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ward 4 candidates, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidates of Ward 4. We'll now take a two-minute break to organize for the next ward. Ward 6 candidates, please make your way backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, Ward 5 Councillor Aaron Nelson, the incumbent Aaron Nelson, is uncontested in this year's election, therefore has been acclaimed as the councillor. Aaron has opted not to participate tonight to allow more time for the other candidates. Aaron thanks his residents of Ward 5 for their support and confidence in the past 4 years' service and looks forward to serving the residents for the next 4 years. Please welcome the candidates for Ward 6. Brad Bell. Corianne Hartwick. And Michael Huseman. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet Zachatsky and Pam McCormick. They are timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card to signal 20 seconds remains in your speaking time. Then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at that time. There's also a digital countdown timer for your reference. Candidates have drawn for speaking order, and please welcome Corianne Hartwick for her 1 minute opening remarks.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. My name is Corianne Hartwick, and I'm seeking re-election in Ward 6. I'm a lifelong resident of Strathcona County, and I have been proud to raise my 4 children here and entertain my grandchildren here. My parents still live here, and they've come out to support me tonight, and I thank you for that. This is home, and like many of you, I care deeply about keeping it safe, welcoming, and an affordable place to live. Over the past 4 years, I've worked hard to represent our community with integrity, transparency, and focus on results. We've made real progress, expanding our trail systems, improving speed and safety in our subdivision and our rural roads, and keeping taxes low while maintaining a high quality of service level that residents rely on. The past term has brought both rewarding moments and tough decisions. But I truly believe Ward 6 and Strathcona County are stronger because of the work we've done together. I'm running again to continue building on that progress. With a focus on safety, connection, and smart, responsible growth, thank you to everyone for coming out tonight and sharing your time with me.
I would now like to call Michael Huseman to the podium for his opening remarks.
Good evening, and thank you for lending me your ear. My priorities for Ward 6 are based on what I've hoped for in Ward 6 and from concerns heard from residents. Addressing affordability through restricting tax increases that are below the Canadian inflation rate by limiting non-essential spending, as well as initiating a conversation around building a robust infrastructure reserve fund strategy to make life more affordable for our kids and grandkids. I will work to enhance road safety in Ward 6 through collaborative efforts with county departments and all rural ward councillors. Safety measures to explore will include such items as line painting on rural roads and shoulder rumble strips. Transparency and communication are keys to a cohesive ward. I will open all available channels of communication for maximum availability and transparency with all residents and local businesses.
I'd now like to call Brad Bell to the podium for his opening remarks.
Good evening. I'm Brad Bell, a longtime resident of Strathcona County, a father and a husband. Your candidate in Ward 6. I spent most of my career in the technical and financial side of the oil and gas industry, where I've learned the importance of efficiency, responsible planning, and delivering results. I believe municipal government should be focused on residents, not politics. If elected, my priorities would be listening to you first by keeping services strong without unnecessary tax increases and supporting affordable housing, safe infrastructure, and thriving local business. I want to make sure Strathcona County remains a place where families, seniors, and young people can live, work, and thrive. Together, we can balance the needs of Ward 6 with the bigger picture of the county, building a stronger, sustainable, and vibrant community for everyone. Thanks.
Candidates will now have 2.5 minutes to answer the following prepared question. What do the residents in your ward feel are the prominent issues in this election, and what do they want from their councillor in the next 4 years? How will you balance your ward residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in your decision making? Michael Huseman, please answer the question from your seat.
Over the next 4 years, my focus will revolve around 4 key topics.
residents' concerns of affordability, particularly affordable water, safer roads, and additional trails and sidewalks. Affordable water has become an important conversation for residents very recently after learning of a 2024 discussion in council concerning the Sherwood Park commercial water fill station. Though this will directly impact the affordability, no input from residents was requested or allowed. The likely option of eliminating this fill station and redirecting all commercial water traffic to our Drawson fill station runs the risk of doubling the cost of delivering this essential service to all residents who depend on it. I will rigorously advocate for a solution which includes either a renewal of the station at the existing location or a replacement constructed within Ward 6. The potential cost of renewing or rebuilding the water fill station, regardless of the option council moves forward with, will greatly impact all residents who rely on water delivery. This leads to a concern regarding funding of our infrastructure projects. The current funding structure seems to rely heavily on tax dollars when infrastructure reaches the end of life. I will advocate for a robust reserve fund strategy in Strathcona County to save for infrastructure renewal rather than relying solely on tax dollars and or increased fees. Each existing piece of infrastructure should have funds saved and invested over its lifespan for future replacement, thus capturing the benefit of time and investment growth over that lifetime to negate burdensome costs placed on residents as well as offsetting effects of inflation. Additional issues residents in Ward 6 have expressed concern is around road safety and pedestrian sidewalks or trails, both of which are high priority items in my campaign. Excessive speed and increased traffic on county roads has become an increasing concern recently, and to reduce the risk of serious collisions, it is necessary to explore various speed controls and or enforcement measures. I will place a priority on exploring options with county transportation and safety departments and other experts in this field to find solutions that work to make our roads safer. Simple solutions may include painting of center and shoulder lines on our rural roads to assist drivers navigating those roads safely, particularly in winter months. Hand in hand with initiatives to limit the risks on our roads is reducing pedestrian traffic on those roads. The most effective means is adding trails and multi-use sidewalks where feasible.
Good job, Michael.
Corianne Hartwick, please answer the question from your seat.
Thank you. I'm proud to serve as councillor for Ward 6, a community that truly values safety, connection, and responsible growth. Over the past term, I've had countless conversations with residents, and it's clear what matters most to our ward and what will continue to guide my work moving forward. Our first priority is speed and safety on our subdivision and rural roads. Residents want safer travel for families, cyclists, and pedestrians. I've heard your concerns about speeding, and I'll continue to push for practical, effective solutions, including stronger enforcement and thoughtful design. Our second priority is expanding our trail system. Trails connect our neighborhoods, encourage active living, and make it easier for us all to enjoy our beautiful natural spaces. In 2025, we completed our 5-year recreation strategy 2 years early, building over $4 million in new connected trails, and we did it entirely with federal grant funding, so taxpayers didn't carry that burden. I'm proud of that work, and I'm looking forward to the next trail strategy coming forward in 2027, so we can continue expanding those connections. These are smart investments that enhance quality of life and build stronger connections across Ward 6 and Strathcona County as a whole. Residents had also made it clear they want taxes kept as low as possible, without compromising the services that make Strathcona County such a great place to live. I couldn't agree more. And we must continue finding efficiencies, prioritizing spending, and maintaining the high-quality service our residents rely on, from road maintenance to emergency response, without adding unnecessary tax burden. Another important issue is the need to find effective communication strategies to reach our residents to get information that directly affects them. We also need to ensure smart infrastructure planning meets today's daily needs while keeping long-term costs under control. I've worked tirelessly on behalf of our community leagues, helping them secure the supports they need and expand their programming. These local organizations are the heart of our neighborhoods, and I will continue to be a strong partner in their success. As a councillor, my job is to represent the people of Ward 6, keeping the best interests of all of Strathcona County in mind. Balancing those needs means making fair, informed decisions that serve both local and county-wide goals. Sometimes that's advocating for Ward 6, and other times it's supporting broader initiatives that benefit everyone. Good governance is about collaboration, respect, and always keeping the bigger picture in mind. Thank you.
Brad Bell, please answer the question from your seat.
Good evening. In Ward 6, residents consistently tell me their top concern is affordability. Families are feeling the pressure of rising costs and want to know that growth will be managed responsibly. Services will remain strong and taxes won't spiral out of control. People also want their voices heard at council, that their concerns matter and they're acted on. My role as your councillor would be to listen first. I will engage directly with Ward 6 councillors through surveys, meetings, and ongoing communication. So I understand what matters to you. At the same time, I know the decisions in council affect the entire county. Balancing local priorities with county-wide needs is essential. That means bringing Ward 6 issues forward while collaborating with other councillors to make choices that are fair, sustainable, and benefit everyone in the county. For me, good governance is about finding that balance. It's about making practical, efficient decisions that respect taxpayer dollars while planning responsibly for growth, supporting safe streets, and creating opportunities for housing and recreation. It's about ensuring Ward 6 remains a welcoming, livable community while contributing to the success and sustainability for all residents of Strathcona County. I lived in Strathcona County for many decades, and I've seen the community grow and change. I bring the perspective of someone who understands both the day-to-day challenges residents face and the long-term planning that keeps our community strong. If elected, I'd always put the residents first, focus on responsible growth, and work tirelessly to ensure that Ward 6 and all of Strathcona County would be a place where families, senior, and young people can thrive.
Each candidate will now have 1.5 minutes for closing remarks. Michael Hoosman, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
When asked to summarize why I'm running for councillor, it is because I care about a connected, safe, and vibrant community interconnected through our love of country living. In addition to affordability, safety, and trails, if elected, I hope to increase the feeling of connection in our community through assisting our 3 community leagues bolster their presence in Ward 6 by supporting them as they reach out to build relationships between neighbors through community events and projects. They are an essential part of Ward 6, and the volunteers put in a ton of effort to help foster healthy communities. The county can increase assistance so volunteers have more time to focus on community building events and projects. Like our community volunteers, I will work just as hard to build a great community, because a healthy community, a connected community, becomes a better community to live. A place we love to come home to and we love to call home. Thank you.
Yes.
Brad Bell, please make your way to the podium.
Thank you for your time today. My name is Brad Bell, and I'm running as your Ward 6 councillor because I care deeply about our community. I've lived here for decades, worked in the technical and financial side of the oil and gas industry, and I know the importance of efficiency, responsible planning, and delivering results that make real difference. If elected, my focus will always be on listening to the residents first. I want to manage growth, responsibility, maintain strong services, support affordable housing, and ensure safe streets and infrastructure for families, seniors, and young people alike. I'm running as an independent, and my decisions will be based on what's best for the community. Together, we can keep Ward 6 and Strathcona County a place where people are proud to live, work, and raise their families. I ask for your support so I can represent your voice on council, bring fresh ideas, and help guide our community towards a strong, sustainable, and vibrant future.
Corianne Hartwick, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
As we look towards the next 4 years, my focus remains simple: to keep Ward 6 and Strathcona County safe, connected, and affordable. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together, improving safety on our subdivision and rural roads, expanding our trail systems, keeping taxes low without reducing service, and planning responsibly for future developments and future projects. But there's still more to do. I will continue building on this progress, supporting our community leagues, strengthening local partnerships, and ensuring that every decision we make reflects both the needs of Ward 6 and the broader good of Strathcona County. I believe in this community. I've lived here my whole life. I've raised my family here, and I want future generations to enjoy the same quality of life we do today. I will not make false claims or promises, but I will continue to work harder than anyone else to represent the residents of Ward 6 and Strathcona County. Together, we can keep moving forward, responsibly, respectfully, and with a clear focus on what matters most to residents. On October 20th, please vote Corianne Hartwick.
No.
Thank you, Ward 6 candidates, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidates of Ward 6. We'll now take a 2-minute break to organize the next ward. Ward 7 candidates, please make your way backstage now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in alphabetical order the following candidates for Ward 7. Glenn Lawrence, and Colin Reed. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet Sochatsky and Pam McCormick. They are our timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card to signal 20 seconds remains in their speaking time. Then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at that time. There's also a digital countdown timer for your reference. Candidates have drawn for speaking order, and please welcome Colin Reed for his opening remarks.
Hello there, my name is Colin Reed. I'm a veteran, a former business owner, a law enforcement official, a volunteer, a husband, and a father. My family has called rural Strathcona County home for over 20 years. When I originally moved to Strathcona County, I lived in a family farm where we raised and cared for horses. I now live on an acreage of my own with my family. Ward 7 needs a council member who understands the evolving challenges faced by the wide variety of its residents. Over the past several months, I've knocked on nearly all of the doors in my ward. And as you can see by the map, that is no easy task. And I've come to realize that all the people genuinely love living there. I could not be more passionate about ensuring that the quality of life that we have all come to know and love is maintained for future generations to come. It is my goal to cultivate an environment where citizens feel as though they have an open line of communication with council, not only by respecting their concerns, but by creating a plan of action which provides the results they are looking for. It is now not enough to answer the question by phone. I want my county residents to know that they can count on me to put their priorities first above all else. Thank you.
I'd now like to call Glenn Lawrence to the podium for his opening remarks.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks everyone for coming out. Very important that we get out for these types of democratic activities. I want to go kind of straight to the point here. One of the things I hear at the doors all the time is, what have you actually done? And I'm just going to go through a few of those things, and that is keeping taxes lower than inflation, 12 million increase to rural roads over the past 8 years, residential water fill, South Cooking Light, job creation to industrial zones, 30,000 direct and indirect jobs, expanded water line to Half Moon Lake North, investing in senior center, ag facility, and community park expansion, South Cooking Lake, and Manistic. Those are some of the things that are very important, and we've got those done over the past 8 years. Thank you.
Candidates will now have 2.5 minutes to answer the following prepared question. What do residents in your ward feel are the prominent issues in the election? And what do they want from their councillor in the next 4 years? How will you balance your ward residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in your decision making? Colin Reed, please answer the question from your seat.
My platform is simply to bring a strong voice back to council, so the residents of Ward 7 can be heard. With a focus on common sense governance, strong leadership, and fiscal responsibility, I will put necessities which affect all of our rural residents first. Every person I speak to will knock on the doors of the farms, acreages, and subdivisions in our community tell me the same thing. The people are frustrated because they feel like council has forgotten about them. Whether the issue is road maintenance, emergency response, cell service, rural crime, or county services, council seems to treat the rural areas of Strathcona County like an afterthought, and I'm here to change that. My goal is to bring regular and effective communication between residents and their council back to our community, and to keep the community engagement that has brought me to this point going forward, well into and throughout my career. The residents of rural Strathcona County rely on the urban areas for all of their basic needs. We shop at the stores, use the facilities, and enjoy all that Sherwood Park has to offer. However, Ward 7 residents feel the opposite. They feel like the urban residents of Strathcona County don't appreciate what our ward has to offer. My plan is to bridge this gap, and council will be a strong voice for my constituents. Thank you.
Glenn Lawrence, please answer the question from your seat.
Thank you. Yes, getting out to the doors is always a big challenge for us in the rural part of Strathcona County, as you can see by the map. We've hit probably close to 90% of the doors, and I marked down pretty much 3 things that sort of stood out. One is traffic and speed and noise, which I'm hearing also in some of the other wards. Taxes, get comments on that. Why are my taxes so high? What's going on? That's a big one. And of course, the big one that I'm really concerned about is fire. As you know, we've been going through a series of drought for quite a while, and Strathcona County is no exception. We have some very, very dangerous and potential fire spots rurally in Strathcona, in our hamlets, and certainly in some of our country residentials. And this is something that we really need to move forward on. We're a specialized municipality, so that means we are urban and rural. So we answer to both. I take an oath for the county of Strathcona, but I'm elected by the residents of Ward 7 to represent their interests. And that's always the tough one, is you want to back your people, and you do, but you still have to look at the bigger picture of the county in itself. The other key part to being on council is getting to work with your council. You've got 9 people on that council. Everybody has a different idea and a different approach to how to get things done. And the key is to play politics. And people say, well, you guys are always playing politics. Well, playing politics is key to getting things done, certainly within your ward, or getting things done within the county that you think are important. So you do a lot of lobbying. And also a good, strong administration is critical for us. They come in, they give us the information, and it helps us make those tough decisions. So we're only as good as the people that elect us. And a lot of times we kind of get thrown in, we get thrown into the job, and we need the people, you out there, to speak for us too, to get in touch with us, contact us, and keep us informed on what's going on, because you are our eyes and ears out there. So, thank you.
Each candidate will now have 1.5 minutes for closing remarks, Colin Reed, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
It's a Monday night, so I'm not going to keep everybody too long. I'm going to keep this short. Knocking on the doors in rural residential areas of Strathcona County has not been easy. I've gotten a lot of steps in, but with the help of my family, my kids, their friends, and my supporters, we've managed to hit almost all the doors, and I hear the same thing from everybody. We want change. At the end of the day, I believe that I'm the best person for the job. I have served my country, my customers, my employees, my business partners, and the province of Alberta. And now I want to serve the great people of my home, Ward 7, as their county council member. Thank you.
Glenn Lawrence, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
Thank you. Thanks again, everyone, for coming out tonight. It's very important. I just want to say I love this county. I've been a part of this county my whole life. My family's been here on both sides of the family in Strathcona for 3 generations. And it's a great place to live. I've had the ability to watch this community grow all my life. And I think we've done a pretty good job when you see where we've come from. I've traveled around quite a bit over the years too. And I come back here and I'll tell you, there's no better place in this world than Strathcona County. I've always said if the world was a pyramid, Strathcona would be at the top. We're very, very fortunate for what we have here. So my promise is, I only make one promise. I don't go to the door and say, I promise you, if you vote for me, I'll do this or I'll do that. My promise is I will work hard for the residents, not only of my ward, but of this county. My track record, I think, has proven that. And that's very important to me. The key thing too is to get out and vote in this election. This is a democracy that we have, and it's a wonderful thing that we can do that. And I think that's very, very important that we do that. And again, thank you very much for everyone coming out tonight, and thank the Chamber for what we have. These are very important functions for this municipality and democracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ward 7 candidates, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidates of Ward 7. We'll now take a 2-minute break to organize the next ward. And Mike Ropelt and Randy Simpson, please meet me at the timekeeper's table. Sorry about the delay. Please welcome in alphabetical order the following candidates for Ward 8. Katie Burkhofer. And Joseph Gancher. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet Swachatsky and Pam McCormick. They are timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card to signal 20 seconds remaining in your speaking time. Then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at that time. There's also a digital countdown timer for your reference. Candidates have drawn for speaking order, and please welcome Katie Berghofer to the podium for her opening remarks.
Good evening. I'm Katie Berghofer, and I'm seeking your support for a third term on Strathcona County Council to represent Ward 8. Over the past 8 years, we have faced challenges none of us could have predicted, from the November 6, 2018 incident at County Hall to the global pandemic that followed in 2020. Through it all, I stood up, showed up, and did what I was elected to do, be present and represent the residents of Ward 8. Every candidate here tonight brings something different to the table, and that's a good thing. What truly matters is not just your background or experience, it's the willingness to listen, to learn, and to grow. Over the past 8 years, I've been learning from residents, business owners, and my colleagues, and that's exactly what I'll continue to do. Leadership isn't about knowing everything, it's about being open to keep learning, committed to keep showing up, and courageous enough to keep moving forward together. Thank you.
I'd now like to call Joseph Ganter to the podium for his opening remarks.
Good evening, my name is Joseph Ganchar, and many of you are kind of wondering, well, who is this guy? What is he about? Well, here's my background. I'm in the metal trades. I'm red sealed metal fabricator, welder, and ironworker generalist. So I do bring a bit of a diverse background when it comes to heavy construction steel trades. I'm also blue seal and business competencies with a bit of an IT background. I do have a few other enterprises on the side implementing AI and as well as on e-commerce. So if you're wondering if he's well-rounded, maybe, maybe not, it'll be up to you. When it comes to certain issues and certain concerns, I believe it's always very important to seek to be understood, then understand. Then you want to understand who's actually implying what their concerns are, and then you can say, okay, here's some options, and then hopefully they would understood those things. We all have to work together. We all have to navigate through those things. So as a father, and I've also obviously worked in those types of different areas and having to deal with many different types of people, communication has been one of those things.
Candidates will now have 2.5 minutes to answer the following prepared question. What do the residents in your ward feel are the prominent issues in this election? And what do they want from their councillor in the next 4 years? How will you balance your ward residents' needs with the needs of all residents of Strathcona County in your decision making? Joseph Ganter, please answer the question from your seat.
So I've spoken with many residents across Ward 8 in their driveways, on their sidewalks, and even at the rink. And the people have actually really been clear on what they're saying. They want leadership that listens, acts, and delivers results. So first, fiscal responsibility. Residents want their tax dollars spent wisely, not wastefully. They're asking accountability, transparency, and a value for their money on every decision made, regardless if it's small or large. Next would be smart growth and infrastructure. Strathcona County is definitely growing, but growth must come with planning, strategic planning. This means roads that work, ciphers, crosswalks, reliable transportation, and amenities that keep pace with new development. And third, accessibility and communication. People don't want to chase a counselor for answers. They want someone that's available and responsive. That's why I've committed to a 48-hour response standard, because being present on accountable shouldn't be optional. And fourth, environmental stewardship. Ward 8 residents love our trails, green spaces, and natural areas. They expect development, and they also expect those things to be respectful and preserved assets and continue to grow and develop. Now, when it comes to balancing Ward 8's needs for the county as a whole, it comes down to two things: fairness and collaboration. I'd always fight for what Ward 8 needs and what is fair, but also make decisions that strengthen Strathcona County as a whole. By grounding every vote in the county in strategic planning, focusing on sustainable growth, a vibrant economy, and a safe, connected communities, we can ensure the benefits of Ward 8 also benefits everyone else. My vision is simple: Strathcona County, where every resident, urban or rural, feels represented, respected, and confident that their voice is being heard. Together we can build a county that works for everyone.
Katie Berghofer, please answer the same question from your seat.
Thank you. I've had the privilege of speaking directly with many at the doors, and I begin with two simple questions. What would you like to ask me as a candidate? And what would you like to share about the direction of our county and the services we provide? Your answers have been thoughtful, passionate, and full of pride for our community, and here's what I've heard. In Heritage Hills, residents told me that illegal parking and speeding along Highcliffe Road is getting worse, and that more attention is needed for our off-leash dog park. Many also asked for faster snow clearing on trails and for us to return to the use of the brushes that get down to the pavement the first time. In Regency Park, residents spoke about vegetation choices and the need for consistent weeding along Clover Bar and Collector Roads. Traffic calming was another big topic. Some want more, while others believe stronger speed enforcement is a better path forward. In Craigavon, one resident told me that he loves the new pavement, but also wondered if waiting a couple years could have saved taxpayers money. Others on Glencoe asked for updated traffic calming because the current measures aren't effective anymore. And the noise from Clover Bar Road, that's an issue I've heard loud and clear. In Foxborough, people are frustrated by delays in road rehabilitation and traffic calming projects. They want more consultation, better communication, and transparency, and that's what's being done, and what's being done and why. And here are some other requests. A municipal RV dump, button-activated flashing lights at all crosswalks, and more local businesses within walking distance. And while a few residents spoke about affordability and taxes, the overwhelming message I heard was that residents want more and better services, and Strathcona County is a community of choice, a place we are all proud to call home. The kind of leadership I promise to bring is one rooted in listening, accountability, and respect to your voice. Together, we can make sure Strathcona County continues to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you.
Each candidate will now have 1.5 minutes for closing remarks. Joseph Gancher, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
All right, so over the last several months, having the privilege to speak with Ward 8 residents, hardworking families, seniors, and young professionals alike, it's time for leadership that listens, acts, and can actually deliver results. People before politics, transparency before titles, and solutions before excuses. My focus is simple: fiscal responsibility, keeping taxes fair and spending accountable, smart, sustainable growth, ensuring our infrastructure keeps pace with development, environmental stewardship, protecting the green spaces, and develop and define our community, and most importantly, open, responsive communication, because our counselor should be accessible, present, and following through on their word. I believe building a county that works for everyone, urban and rural businesses, a family alike, present and future generations alike. So on election day, I ask for your support, not just for a name on a ballot, but for partnership and progress. Together we can build a stronger, transparent, more accountable Strathcona County. Joseph Gancher.
Katie Berghofer, please make your way to the podium for your closing remarks.
Before I close, I would like to sincerely thank the Sherwood Park Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. Yes, opportunities to come together, shake hands, and share ideas is invaluable. 4 years ago, we couldn't gather like this, and tonight reminds us of how important community connection truly is. To my Ward 8 residents and neighbors, I know that not everyone will agree with every decision I've made, and that not every request could have been acted upon. Our county operates within policies and bylaws that are designed to protect all of us, to ensure fairness, to safeguard our environment, and uphold the public safety. We also must follow the framework that is also set out by the provincial government. What I can promise you, and what I've always stood by, is this: I will continue to listen, to do my homework, and to make decisions grounded in honesty, integrity, and care. Compromise will always be on the table when possible, but sometimes leadership means putting the greater good of the community forward. I'm proud to call Strathcona County home. I'm proud to have served you. Together we can continue to build a safe, strong, and thriving community that reflects our shared values. Thank you for being here tonight. And on October 20th, I ask for your support to vote for Katie Berghofer for Ward 8. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ward 8 candidates, for your participation and commitment to democracy in Strathcona County. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the candidates of Ward 8. We will now take a 5-minute break to organize for the mayoral portion of the forum. And I have a little bit more here. While we set up the mayoral portion of this evening, we have volunteers, and their names are Randy Simpson and Mike Ropelt, if you didn't know, who are going to hand out question cards for those that wish to ask a question. You can ask a 40-word question yourself or hand the question back to the volunteers to allow the moderator to ask the question. Please address your question to the candidate you wish to have answered it. Mayoral candidates, please make your way backstage. Second introductions and opening statements. 90 seconds per question to answer a question from the Chamber of Commerce. 60-second answers for the question and answer period from the audience. 3-minute closing remarks from each candidate. Please welcome in alphabetical order, Benjamin Beal. And Rod Frank. We will now begin with opening statements. Candidates have drawn for speaking order, and please show your respect for each candidate by not interrupting them during their speech. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet Sochatsky and Pam McCormick. They are timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card to signal 20 seconds remains in your speaking time, then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at that time. There is also a countdown timer for your reference. Rod Frank, please proceed to the podium for your 90-second opening remarks.
Well, good evening. Thank you to the Chamber for organizing this forum and to everyone attending. Also, thank you to the mayor and councillor candidates. You have put your life on hold, pounded on doors, got your steps in, and have not slept for about a month, but you are providing public service, so thank you. My name is Rod Frank. I moved here with my family in 1963. the population of the county was under 10,000 people. As the county grew, I grew with it. I became a lawyer and raised my 2 sons here with my wife, and today our population is over 100,000. During my 2 terms as mayor, I have provided stable and disciplined leadership. Most recently through inflationary times, the affordability crisis, and unstable national and international politics. My priorities include staying in my lane and providing highest quality municipal services: fire, police, roads, family, transit, recreation, parks, and culture. It is also very important for me to be able to say that I am not a tax and spend politician. During my tenure, cumulative taxes are lower than inflation. That means in real dollars, a tax cut, and few governments can make that claim. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Benjamin Beal, please proceed to the podium for your 90-second opening remarks.
Good evening, Strathcona County. My name is Benjamin Beal. I first went to school here in grade 6 and moved to Sherwood Park in 1996. I am a husband and a father of 4 school-aged children. My career started as an electrical apprentice and has led to my construction and quality management. In my work, I bring contractors, regulators, and clients together to find practical win-win solutions. I'm running for mayor because too many residents felt unseen in local decisions. My plan is simple: open, honest, connected. Open means you can easily see how decisions are made, not just the outcomes. Publishing plain language summaries of meetings and budgets, and will invite residents to weigh in before major projects move ahead. Honest means straight answers and accountability. I'll report back regularly on promises, progress, and challenges, no spin. Using clear before and after data on things like traffic changes, safety results, and project costs. No surprises, just straight talk. Connected means bringing your government to you. By utilizing modern technology, I can meet you where you're at, whether it's on your smartphone through apps and social media, or in your home with Zoom forums or online surveys, or even in person at community events and in-person forums that rotate throughout the urban and rural areas. If you want a mayor who is pragmatic, non-ideological, and focused on results that serve the whole community, I ask for your support. Let's shape Strathcona together.
The second portion of this event is the question and answer period. The Chamber of Commerce has provided candidates the first question in advance of the forum, and candidates have drawn for speaking order for their 90-second response. The first prepared question is, what do you feel is the biggest challenge for the county businesses from a municipal perspective, and how will you solve the issue? Benjamin Beal, you have 90 seconds to answer the question from your seat.
So the biggest concern that I'm hearing from our business community is red tape and inflexible bureaucracy and gold-plated standards that increase costs without significant benefits to the community. I personally witnessed projects that were designed by provincial, federal, and CSA standards double, triple, and even quadruple in price to meet additional municipal standards. So we need to review the policies and standards to ensure that they reflect the true values and needs of the community. And there should be a simple and efficient way to apply for variances so businesses can introduce pragmatic, common sense solutions. Projects shouldn't be delayed or canceled because of bureaucrats that have never pounded a nail or lifted a shovel, try to enforce rules they don't understand. So to give you some background, I am a safety codes officer. So in layman's terms, that's a government inspector. And so I understand the rules around and the ways to enforce these things, and they're essential, but there's also ways that we can implement pragmatic solutions. We can introduce variances when things don't make sense. Like anybody a proud owner of a fire water pond out there? Nobody? Okay. And this is something that we should probably work around and find more pragmatic solutions for. The costing businesses, and we're losing business to other communities because the cost of building here is too high.
Rod Frank, you have 90 seconds to answer the question from your seat.
Thank you. Well, businesses face issues similar to individuals, inflationary times, the affordability crisis, and unstable national and international politics. I've addressed affordability through a strong economic base and low taxes, and the instability of other levels of governments through advocacy. But one of the biggest challenges unique to business from a municipal perspective is bureaucracies and red tape. Businesses sometimes are challenged by a lack of communication and slow processes, but the customer, that is the citizen and companies doing business here, is king. We need to serve them. I have and will continue to solve the red tape problem by developing our business culture. This includes supporting our administration streamlining processes. One example is simplifying application and approval processes. And I get incredibly positive feedback on this. Our administration does not say no, it says yes, or it says here's how. We hold meetings where business owners can provide feedback on policies. I encourage proactive information sharing. One of my go-tos is supporting business development through a strong economic development team and our AIHA membership. We lead with large incentives for large-scale industrial developments. I'm unleashing the power of free enterprise of great benefit to the county, and I will continue to do that. Thank you.
We will now have opportunity for questions submitted from the attending audience. The question can be 40 words in length. Please address your question to the candidate you wish to have it answered by. Randy Simpson has volunteered to operate the roving microphone. Thank you, Randy. Please raise your hand and Randy will come to the aisle where you are seated and meet him there for your question. We will try to address as many questions as possible in the Q&A time. As moderator, I may ask other candidates to answer the same question as well to help balance the candidate's speaking time. Candidates, you will have 60 seconds to respond to each question. Okay, this question is for Rod Frank from Ellen. Why did the expenditures for both Emerald Hills Pool and the Point go extremely over budget? Where was the planning?
Could you just repeat the first part of that for the Point? What was the other one?
Why did the expenditures for both Emerald Hills Pool and the Point go extremely over budget? Where was the planning?
Well, Emerald Hills, I wasn't here for that, but I will speak to the Point. I can tell you that when I ran in 2017, people from rural Strathcona County came forward and said, are you going to support agriculture recreational facility? I said, yes. What was announced was a $31 million cost. In today's dollars, that's $37 million. And I supported the Point to that amount. Decisions are made by the majority council, and you'll have to speak to other councillors as to why that amount was exceeded, but I did not support it beyond that amount because that's what was communicated to the public, and that's the trust that the public expects. Thank you.
Randy, our next question, please.
Hello, my name is Jerry Stopius, and my question is for Rod Frank. What is your plan for affordable housing?
And before you begin, Rod, I will ask Benjamin to answer this after you.
Okay, he's going to steal my answer. No. Well, that's a great question. I can tell you that we are part of Heartland Housing Foundation, and that is where we concentrate our efforts. This is an organization that's mandated by the provincial government, but one of its main goals is affordable housing. I will quickly add, this is a solution that all three levels of government have to participate in. It's impossible for a municipality to solve affordable housing without provincial and federal dollars behind it. We will continue to support, we have an actual framework in the county, and you can go to strathcona.ca to see it. But the advantage of Heartland Housing is that it's organized. We've got experts that work there, and we'll continue to deal with the issue through that society. Thank you.
I promised I'd be honest. I have nothing better to say than what Rod has said. Affordable housing is a complicated issue that involves 3 levels of government, and the municipality has limited resources to help deal with that, which is why we partner with provincial and federal partners to do that.
Thank you. Randy, our next question.
Hi, my name is Scott Crichton. I live in Ward 4, and my question is for Rod Frank. Is there a way that we could talk to the province about expanding the Strathcona County Hospital, perhaps getting an MRI unit in there, so we don't have to go all the way to the city to get an MRI done? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Well, there is a way, and that way is advocacy. Health in hospitals, that's a provincial responsibility. We have to stay in our lane, but that doesn't mean we can't advocate. I do that constantly. Whenever I meet with the MLA, that's one of the top issues is the hospital. We've had successes. The provincial government has committed planning dollars to the next phase of the hospital. But it does go in 3 stages. There's planning, then there's design, then there's construction. We haven't heard promises for the last 2 phases, but there's an election coming up in 2 years, so I'm hopeful for that. But I will continue to do advocacy. Thank you.
Hi, this question is for Rod Frank, but also for Benjamin Beal. Farmers are being displaced and driven out of the county by policy and unneeded development, like the proposed Crusaders Arena on ag land next to a 5th generation, 144-year-old family farm. Yet you state you support agriculture while actively displacing generational farms. What are you actually doing to support farmers aside from the Ag Institute?
Rod Frank, please proceed.
Yeah, well, you can look at my track record. First of all, I've supported decisions that are favorable to agricultural land and preserving it. That's number 1. Number 2, I specifically put forward a motion to hire economic development officers that deal with value-add agriculture, and that passed. Number 3, we have an agricultural policy. Very few municipalities in this province do, and ours is now a framework that's embedded into our Strathcona County. And lastly, yes, I actively support an agricultural institute. I've attended many meetings with farmers. I've answered all the emails. I've gone to all meetings. I'll stand on my track record. Thank you.
Benjamin Beal. Yeah, it is a challenging thing to help support our rural communities. And as someone who lives out in the country and has family with farms, I can relate. I cannot speak to a specific plan other than trying to understand the needs specifically of the community and advocating for them in meaningful ways, because I imagine it's also a complex problem of provincial and federal issues that are affecting them, and we have to just listen and be proactive in advocating for them.
Thank you.
My name is Glenda Sheard, and I live in Ward 6. And if both candidates can answer, as we know, we're a specialized municipality of urban and rural. Issues are very different. What do you, or what can you do or influence to bridge the gap between rural and urban Strathcona County?
Going to ask Benjamin Beal to respond first, and then Rod Frank second.
Absolutely. During my lifetime, I have split my living between rural and urban, so I have a unique perspective in being able to speak for both communities. I think as a county, it is imperative that we employ the use of our ward councillors to better speak to the needs of their constituents, because you're right, they are quite unique, and they need to be more proactive in bringing those unique perspectives. I know recently come to light the issues with water delivery and accessibility for Ward 6. And so as as a mayor who's supposed to bring unity to the council, my unique perspective of having been in both sides, I think I can help bring unity that way.
Thank you. Yes, we are both urban and rural, very unique. 98% of other municipalities in this province are either all urban or all rural. But we've been very wise with how we've handled that. We have 2 industrial zones. They have $65 billion in investment. There's no other county, no other municipality in the entire country that can match that. And we have to continue to get that message out. Now, we have to get services out to the rural areas, and we do that. We've got the Agricultural Institute that we've already talked about. Rural building is important. It's a fact, though, many of the services have to be put where the density population is. We need strong ward councillors, and we've had very strong ward councillors the last 8 years here that represent rural parts of the county. I hope to continue to see that. Lastly, we'd much rather have it this way than to have an urban-rural division in the sense of different municipalities, because you waste a lot of time fighting with your neighbor that way. So we're on the right track.
My name is Kara O'Brien Joyce, and I'm a resident of Ward 6. My question is for Rod Frank. With the closing of the Sherwood Park Water Station, all commercial water haulers will be funneled to the Ardrossan Water Station. What is your plan to deal with the increased traffic in that area and the wear and tear on those roads?
Before you begin, Rod Frank, I'm going to ask both candidates to answer that. So Ben, please respond after Rod Frank.
Okay. Yes, well, first of all, there was a water fill issue for sure. The one on Sherwood Drive was reaching the end of its useful life, and we had to consider, do we rebuild it or do we replace it? Rebuilding, $11.5 million. And that would be funded by the users, the water haulers. Another possibility was expanding to an Ardrossan. This would increase the commercial base from 3 to 5 and increase residential base from 1 to 2, and at a lower cost, $10.5 million. And it's already identified that cost, some of it in our capital budgets. So only $4 million has to be paid by the water haulers, as opposed to the $11.5 million on Sherwood Drive. So those costs that are reduced, users should see that. As far as the transportation concerns there, we will do a traffic study if there's any concerns if the roads don't have capacity. That always happens with development, so that's not a concern. Thank you.
Benjamin Beal, please proceed.
So I have to say that given the fact that the cost of this is being passed on to the users, the lack of stakeholder engagement is unacceptable. Like if anyone else had their essential services disrupted in this way without any consultation, you'd be up in arms, pitchforks and whatnot. So I think we need to go back to the table because it's the users that are going to end up paying the costs. They should have a say in which one is more beneficial, especially considering that when I saw the proposal, they did not include the delivery costs in the factoring, and my own water supply is likely to triple in price just because of delivery costs and fuel costs. And if we're concerned about the environment, the amount of diesel that's going to be burned transporting water from Ardrossan compared to Sherwood Park is horrendous.
Randy, I have a question here that I'll ask first, and I'll have both candidates respond to it. Starting with Rod Frank, please. How will you work with the 8 councillors elected to achieve the goal of Canada's most livable community?
Well, none of them listen to me, so it's not easy. No, we make decisions in the best interest of all of Strathcona County, and that's generally the view of councillors and elected officials. Now, there's from time to time, it's never going to go perfect. You're going to have people with different beliefs, different leanings, but you need open and honest debate Everybody has to be heard. And I'll tell you this, you could be an expert on anything. You could be Connor McDavid on hockey. You go to a meeting with 9 other people, there'll always be a point that's raised, I never thought about that. So we got to keep open. I do want to address the fact all of our meetings are open, agendas are published, minutes are published, decisions are completely open to the public. In fact, they're all recorded. And you'll see that if you watch it, that we don't curtail debate. We have meaningful discussions, and then a decision is made.
Benjamin Beal, please.
I think I would just add to that in saying that if I were to move forward in this position, that I would ensure that there's more access to that information. Everything is public, but has anyone taken the time to read the meeting minutes of one of the council meetings? Like, if you need something to push you to sleep, by all means, look it up. So maybe we could be more proactive in making sure that these decisions and information is available. And as far as uniting the council, I do feel like I'm in a unique position, having been, contractor, a tradesman, I'm a parent, I've, got special needs kids. My Thanksgiving table is a who's who of the whole community, teachers, administrators, bureaucrats. So I know how to bring people together and get them to find a common goal and vision.
Thank you. Randy?
My name is Margaret, and I've been in Sherwood Park for just over 15 years. My question will not tax your brain too much, but why does Sherwood Park not have a community parade anymore? It was such a sense of pride in our country, and a little place like Ardrossan can have a parade. What's wrong with our community? Thank you.
We'll have both candidates respond to that. And
I thought maybe Todd, you wanted to respond.
Yes, please.
Well, yeah, good question. The parade was sponsored by a third party. There's some issues with that. Volunteers, very difficult to round up the right amount of volunteers for a parade. Actually, it's pretty labor intensive. Secondly, liability issues. Kids getting injured, for example, at parades has grown. So the third party, it wasn't in their realm anymore, for reasons along that way. I don't want to speak for them. But that's where we're at. Now, a parade in Ardrossan is at a much, much smaller scale. And you'll notice even Edmonton doesn't have a parade anymore. It would take a big commitment of dollars to go forward with the parade. If a volunteer organization comes forward again, I know our Recreation Parks and Culture will work with them on a parade, but right now, that's a situation we're in. Thank you.
Benjamin Beal.
So, I remember growing up going to parades and it being a fun and entertaining time. But as the father of 4 children, as their culture has changed, let me tell you, they're not as impressed. And also, I think that as our community grows, it becomes more fractured. So a community like Ardrossan has more common roots and more common vision. And I think it's just harder for us to align on some of these things. And to allude to Rod, costs, volunteers, like these things need people to have an interest in them. And if people have lost an interest, there's not much we can do.
Anyone that has questions or concerns about the Chamber of Commerce and the parade, please call me at the Chamber, and I'm happy to have a coffee with you. Randy, next question, please.
So my question is definitely pointed towards Rod Frank, and I hope he notices my hat and enjoys it. Have you ever been to the area where the Crusaders Arena is supposed to be built? How does it make sense to you, and how can you say farms matter after how absolutely poorly you treated them? or that the overpass under ongoing construction is even remotely adequate for the anticipated traffic, in addition all the new residents north of Yellowhead?
Well, I believe that that is a decision for Recreation, Parks and Culture. Yes, I've been to the site. I've been by many times. The Crusaders came forward with a proposal. We looked at it. We saw it made business sense. We saw that it would add to our community. Again, I'll stand on my record in terms of agriculture. I'm the one who's voted to support agricultural lands. I've supported the Ag Institute. I've supported hiring economic development officers. Remember, there's different interest groups within the community. We have to make decisions for all of Strathcona County. And that one is one that we're actually going to benefit from a great deal if the Crusaders go forward. So I'll stand on that. You can go to my website at strathcona.ca. I've written on it many times. Thank you.
I have a question here from Ray Davis, and it says the provincial government has passed legislation that affects municipal governments. What is your position on this issue? Doesn't say what the issue is. I'm thinking it's MSI funding and the new rule they have for funding municipalities.
Yeah. Well, this is a question that takes some skill in the sense that we are a creature of statute. The municipal government, with the stroke of a pen, can change our relationship fundamentally. So we have to start off with common ground. It doesn't matter who's in power. It can be any party, but we have to start finding common ground and work with the provincial government. Now, I agree here. Municipalities sometimes aren't fully recognized for the great work that they do. And that requires further advocacy with the provincial government to ensure that they understand we're working for the good of Alberta, actually for the good of the country, for the good of our regions. A good example is our industrial zones. Unbelievably great track record. That supports not only our regional economy, but the economy of the entire province. So we'll continue to advocate with them, and it'll never be an issue that dies completely. Thanks.
Benjamin, would you like to weigh in on it?
Yeah, can you clarify the question?
The provincial government has passed legislation that affects municipal government or municipal government. What is your position on this? And I believe it's in reference to the MSI funding, which is now called something else, but it's government funds that are given to each municipality each year for doing projects or infrastructure projects or other services.
Okay. So, I mean, to be candid, the municipalities exist at the goodwill of the province. Right? We are extensions of, in some regards, the provincial government. We look after local affairs to make them more efficient. And, you know, the Minister of Municipal Affairs, as far as I understand, with the stroke of a pen, can fire the mayor. So we do have to, you know, play within their sandbox. And, you know, it's not uncommon for the municipalities that we receive funds from the federal government, provincial government. They all come with strings attached to them. So it's just a matter of, you know, paying attention to our community's needs and making sure that we're using those resources appropriately.
Thank you. Randy?
My question is for Mayor Franks. My name is Sean. It's going to be too loud.
No, please speak into the microphone. This is live broadcast.
My question is for Mayor Frank. My name is Sean Dunnett. I live in Ward 8, and I'm a retired military police officer. My question stems from when my family moved to Strathcona County, particularly Ward 8 in 2012. The crime rate in Strathcona County was low, and people didn't drive like idiots on our roads. Fast forward 13 years, We no longer see the RCMP patrolling our main thoroughfares. We have police officers who have no idea what officer discretion is and ticket everything that moves. That should, in theory, fix the problems on our streets, but it's not. My question is, what is your plan to fix the problem?
If I could just jump in here, I would have Benjamin Beal answer the question as well. And maybe we'll have Benjamin answer first this time.
Sure.
Well, I'm not familiar with your particular problem, but I think being open in communication and taking your problem to the council is essential. And then our job there is to go to the police force, whether it's the sheriffs or the RCMP, to understand their perspective of the situation and come up with a plan together, because I'm not a police officer. I don't understand fully how their role works. So it's better to get everyone to the table and have a meaningful discussion rather than making, like, you know, I can't make accusations or tell them how to do the job, right?
Okay, well, let's start off with the crime rate. Actually, our crime rate, serious crime index, is half that of the provincial average, half. 88% of our residents feel safe by our most recent survey. Now, we have a very strong RCMP department and a very strong enforcement services department. They work in tandem. There's no other community in the province that has that combination, working that well together. But you raised some good questions. A lot of people do have concerns about traffic and traffic enforcement. The first thing I'm going to say is, number one, if you witness some sort of traffic violation, report it. Very important, because we can start to use that data to identify trends. Number two, we will commit extra resources. If you have a specific concern, you can email me, rod.frank@strathcona.ca. I can get that to our enforcement department, and they will look at a specific area, and they will commit extra resources there just to ensure that, you know, there's not more crime or more traffic issues in a particular area. So we're on the right track here. We have a very...
Thank you.
Thank you.
More questions, Randy?
I'm Carol Holt. I live in Ward 2. I don't understand why people who live outside of Sherwood Park have to pay huge amounts of money to have water delivered. It seems to me that the municipality should be able to provide the cost of transportation so that people on farms and outside in acreages have to pay huge amounts more than residents of Sherwood Park.
Rod Frank, we'll start with you, and Benjamin Beal will be second.
Yeah. Well, if you live in a rural area and there's not, and water has to be hauled there, you're going to be charged a rate by the water hauler that's going to take into account the distance. That's true. We don't have control over what the water hauler would charge for that. Our utility rates are based on usage, and there is a difference sometimes between urban and rural, but again, it's based on distance quite often. If you want to get more of the particulars, I can get our utility department to connect with you, but that's the situation you're in when you're living in a rural area. Thanks.
No more questions to this time, Randy? Oh, yes, please. Could you, is it good?
Hi, my name is Rebecca Whitty. With the large overpass in Cambrian, I'm wanting to let you know that the large truck traffic is not compatible with the increased small vehicle traffic. And we're really sure that with the further development, it's just going to get worse. I'm wondering, we've had industrial traffic speeding and driving over the lane lines, accidents and near misses due to confusing lanes and inadequate signage. And apparently the county has just reported, with the County Connect report submitted, traffic engineer dismissed them and suggested just repainting the yellow lines. I'm wondering if each of you can speak to that, please.
And we'll start with Benjamin Beal, please.
I'm not an expert in traffic patterns, so I would have to rely on the expertise of the administration to understand the problem fully. And we'd have to, again, come together and decide on a plan of action with community input and look for metrics that actually prove that our outcomes were being achieved and traffic was safer.
Rod Frank?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that area definitely is, needs to progress in terms of the construction. Right now, it's a little bit hairy in there. One of the issues there is there's provincial roads intersecting with municipal roads. Dealing with Alberta transportation can be challenging at times. We are committed, obviously, to safe traffic through there and efficient traffic. It'll continue to evolve, things like signage and that. If there's anything that you know specifically that we're not doing that we should be doing, email me. I will get that to the transportation department immediately. Thank you.
Randy, our next question, please.
I'm not going to ask what you think. I have a question. In July, we're going to be hosting the Summer Games for Alberta. And what is your vision for bringing the county together as using that event as a catalyst for community spirit?
And we'll have Rod Frank answer first and Benjamin Beal second.
Yeah, that is a very exciting event that's coming up. Our Recreation, Parks and Culture Department is behind it fully. We're going to have 5,000 athletes and visitors coming here. We're going to be using our facilities. I think the chairman is actually in the audience tonight. So we are committing our full resources to it. We are going to have backup by the provincial government also. It's going to be a fun time, a great time to watch young people perform, and it's really going to be an event to take in next year. So full support from the county, and we're looking forward to it.
So, as someone who only found out that we're hosting these games 2 days ago, I guess my response would be, I think, as a community, we should be proud that we're doing this and be more vocal about the fact that it's going on. So by integrating, new technology, getting out there on social media and taking advantage of that, it should be an amazing event that we are using as a catalyst to grow as a community and bring people together and plan additional events around it to ensure that people get involved and pay attention to what's going on.
Thank you. I have a question here, and unfortunately I can't read it. So I'm not going to ask this because it's quite complex, and I can't understand part of it. But I will form a question from what I can read, and that is a question to both Rod Frank and Benjamin Beal. Strathcona County's population is becoming more culturally diverse, yet many immigrants and minority groups still struggle with belonging. As mayor, I've missed something here, but as mayor, how will you help these new immigrants acclimate into Strathcona County? Rod Frank, please.
Sure. Well, I will start from the fact that we are an inclusive community. All of our policies reflect that. We have a committee specifically dealing with that issue. Now, that's not to say that, practically speaking, sometimes maybe those policies are not followed in a situation, or perhaps someone doesn't feel comfortable. I can tell you, our administration and our elected officials will not tolerate any situation like that. And I see progress in our community. I mean, we have changed dramatically over the 60-some years that I've been here. but it will continue to take work, and any complaints should be brought forward to our administration and to elected officials. We will continue to work on them. I see diversity and inclusion being something that we highly value, and over time we will solve the problem. Thanks.
Benjamin Beal. We need to work together and be proactive. We can't just assume that the council or other forms of government are going to find ways to legislate integration. We can build programs, but as a community, we have to create a culture where we are interested in reaching out to people with diverse cultures and ideas and views, and bring them, to the local coffee shop or to our table at Thanksgiving, or to our church or wherever, and be part of their community also. So as far as being a mayor, all I can do is lead by example and hope you'll follow in my footsteps.
Thank you. So seeing no more questions from, we have one more question, Randy. Two more.
Hello, my name is Denise. I'm from Ward 1. We've been hearing a lot in the news and elsewhere, especially from Edmonton and Calgary, regarding 15-minute cities. I'm wondering if this has ever come across your desk here in Strathcona County, and what you would think about that, and how it would be handled. And the question is for both candidates, please.
And we'll start with Benjamin Beal, please.
So I think it's critical that we understand what it means to be a 15-minute city. And so my understanding is that it's some sort of policies that are coming from NGOs from outside of our country. And so I think my point of view on this is that whatever direction we go as a community, it should come from within. So we shouldn't feel forced or to comply with new social ideologies. We need to have a conversation amongst ourselves and decide what our values are and what our priorities are, and how do we live that out as a community, and how do we use that to inform our decisions and our infrastructure plans, and not let other people tell us how to shape Strathcona.
Rod Frank?
Yeah, well, I'll say I don't believe in 15-minute cities. I don't believe in them in the sense that if we're trying to over-densify and cram more people into a neighborhood to satisfy a 15-minute city, I don't think it's a good solution. Just think about it. Can you live and could you get all your needs met in 50 minutes? Can you get your groceries in your neighborhood within 50 minutes? No, so you're gonna have to build more grocery stores. Can you have big box stores in every neighborhood? No, you can't, so that doesn't need 15 minutes. You got to get your kids to play soccer or hockey across town. That's going to take more than 15 minutes. Restrictions on traffic. So no, I don't believe in over-densification, and I don't believe in unrealistic solutions that are just going to make it more difficult for citizens. Thank you.
So we're going to make this our last question of the evening, and then we'll go to closing remarks.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. I'm in Ward 2. This is a specific question for Ben. In regards to Canada Day, how are we going to bring the county council out to the events?
This works out perfectly because Rod Frank has answered one more question than Benjamin, so this will make it equal.
If I have to, I'll drive them there. How about that?
So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our question and answer period. Each candidate now has 3 minutes for closing remarks. Before we hear from the mayoral candidates' closing remarks, I would like to thank all the candidates for participating tonight. We appreciate your courageous efforts in this democratic process. I would also like to thank the volunteers from the Chamber and all your hard work and assistance in making this event successful. Thank you to Festival Place. Brett, you and your staff are experts and professionals in your craft. Thank you. Most importantly, thank you, the residents, for your attendance and participation this evening. These forums help us to get to know all the candidates here in Strathcona County and better understand their positions on the important issues in this election. Remember to vote Monday, October 20th or before, and encourage others to do the same. Candidates, please draw your attention to Janet Sachatsky and Pam McCormick. They are our timekeepers and will hold up a yellow card signal 20 seconds remains in your speaking time, then a red card when speaking time has concluded. Candidates, please respectfully finish speaking at that time. There's also a countdown timer for your reference. Rod Frank has 3 minutes for closing remarks. Please proceed to the podium.
Well, thank you again, Todd, to the Chamber for organizing this event, to all the candidates for your service, and for everybody who's attending. If elected, my focus will be on leadership excellence. And I will take advantage of my 8 years of leadership as mayor. I will provide stable and disciplined leadership through all future challenges, as well as current issues, including inflationary times, the affordability crisis, and unstable national and international politics. My clear vision is to champion fiscal responsibility while leading with the highest level of municipal services. Focus will be on acting in the best interest of all of Strathcona County. And the bottom line will be getting results: citizen satisfaction, sustainable finances, low crime, and job creation. We will continue to have the best books in the province. As mentioned earlier, it's particularly important for me to be able to say I am not a tax and spend politician. During my time, cumulative taxes are at 13.4%. That's much lower than inflation at 23.4%, 10% lower. That means in real dollars, we've had a tax cut, and few governments can make that claim. Our debt service ratio is under 5%. This means over 95% of our revenues go to services for citizens, not to banks to pay debt. And all the while, we have amongst the best municipal services with citizen approval ratings being over 90%. I focus on creating, not waiting, and on seizing opportunities. The strategic goal of economic prosperity will underpin my decisions. With one of the lowest tax rates in the province, we will remain an attractive place to do business. I will focus on responsible development. We have $65 billion in investment in our 2 industrial zones and support over 30,000 direct and indirect jobs. Keeping a healthy and safe community will continue to be crucial. I support our family services department, serving youth, families, seniors, and our most vulnerable. It is significant, as I mentioned earlier, that our serious crime index is half that of the provincial average, and that 88% of our residents feel safe. Our emergency services are second to none, with all firefighters being trained paramedics also. In challenging times, we need a mayor who has the experience running the county. Let's keep the momentum going by keeping the plan and keeping the leader. I am Rod Frank. Please vote me for mayor. Go to strathcona.ca, my website, for further information. Thank you.
Benjamin Beal, you now have 3 minutes for your closing remarks.
The mayor is your advocate to the county administration. They are the leader and unifying voice of council and your ambassador to the rest of the world, including the federal and provincial governments. The mayor is your voice. Who do you want to be your voice? Do you want someone who has shared your experiences, your joys and pains, your frustrations and challenges? Any parents out there with kids at home because of a school strike? Anybody with aging parents with mobility issues that are not sure what the best place for them to retire is? Anybody got a child with special needs? Anybody out there with serious health challenges? Maybe you're fighting cancer. I'm a survivor myself. Anybody out there in construction, trades, contractors? That's been my whole life. Anybody felt the pinch of financial pain during COVID when everything shut down? That was me. My job didn't continue on. Anybody else feeling the pain of the bureaucracy as they apply for permits? In my family's engineering firm, we deal with it all the time. Regular business owners trying to navigate the inflexible bureaucracy, just trying to get their business done, just trying to do it economically. I feel that pain. I've been there. I've been your advocate. So the question I have is, who do you want to be your voice? The Pride community, the trans community, all members, loved members of my family. Christians, atheists, I even got a bureaucrat at my Thanksgiving table. Got oil executives and engineers and teachers all around me, part of my family, people I seek to understand and love, people I advocate for on a daily basis. So I ask you, who do you want to be your voice? Because that's what the mayor is. The mayor is your voice to the council, to the community. So if you'd like me to be your voice, show up and exercise your voice. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and show your appreciation for the two candidates running for mayor here in Strathcona County. This concludes tonight's official agenda. If you have additional questions of the candidates, please make your way back to the candidates table in the lobby to ask your questions. The YouTube video of the forum will be available shortly. Enjoy the rest of your evening and good night.